Hello everyone, today we got some more information regarding the situations that happened in Sacramento on this Sunday. Pretty crazy situation overall. We've seen the response from the anti-gunners. We've seen the Democrats' response as far as what they plan to do to stop this scourge of gun violence. And now we know a little bit more information, which is most likely going to lead to this story being dropped off the airwaves very quickly. Let's get into that. Before we do though, if you want to support this channel, feel free to use any of the links down in the description. Whether you're looking for body armor is easily integrated into your day-to-day life, like Premier Body Armor. I got a code down there for 10% off. This goes in your backpack. This protects what's most important, your beers. This is a koozie. I don't know, I just thought this was pretty funny. They also sell shirts, vests, all that sort of thing. But if you want to protect yourself from the inside, check out merrickhealth.com or Gorilla Mind. Both of them I am sponsored by, and I do have discount codes with them. With that out of the way, let's talk about the absolute insanity that is the state of California and the response to the recent occurrence. I'm going to try to avoid saying certain words so this video doesn't get age restricted, because I think this information is important for many people to hear, because I think that this is going to be glossed over and many people might forget what's actually going on. So a quick summary of the events that occurred was that on Sunday night, a shooting happened where many people died, and it was initially reported as a mass casualty incident. We had people like Gavin Newsom and all the other state lawmakers in the state of California and nationwide talking about how the state is only as safe as its most loose gun law neighbor. So basically blaming Arizona for this. That didn't really make sense to me. California has some of the most strict gun laws. We have red flag laws, ammunition background checks for all ammunition sales, background checks for every firearm sale, CCW permits that require background checks based on the county sheriff's discretion, many sheriffs of which will not issue a permit whatsoever in the biggest cities. What else do we have? We have assault weapon ban. We have bans on certain people from being able to possess firearms. We have laws around stolen firearms. But it seems as if somehow these firearms and these people were able to do terrible, terrible things. Let's talk about the laws that they broke. Let's talk about the laws that they seem to just not care about and what actually empowered these people to do it. Because we know some of the identities of some of the known shooters. Now, one person who was arrested is already out on bail. One person was found who was in possession of a firearm unlawfully per the state and the federal requirements or the federal laws. This person was arrested nearby with a gun in their possession and then was able to post bail, even though this person is a known gang affiliate, is someone who has been a repeat offender, and just happened to be in the area of a gang-related shooting. I'm sure that this is the exact kind of person who should be let out. Definitely a good guy. Two of the people that are arrested and are still currently in custody or not able to freely walk among us, one of them was shot in the incident. This person who was shot in the gunfight that they were a part of, allegedly, was actually released on bail in just February of this year. 4 years early, or maybe even 6 years early, of his sentence. He was supposed to face 10 years in jail, but got out for good behavior. In 2021, this person was denied release, early release, and and he was not allowed to go on to probation. Now, in 2022, a district attorney from Sacramento actually did his job and wrote a 2-page letter explaining that if this guy were to be released in 2022, that he would most likely create more victims, and he is a known dangerous person and should not be let out early. I'm going to have links to all this stuff down in the pinned comment or in the comments down below. The DA said that this guy would be a danger to himself and others if he were to be let out. You know what happened? He got let out. Someone that Newsom appointed let this guy out. And you know what he did just weeks later? He committed a mass shooting, or was participating in a mass casualty incident. His brother was also involved. Both these men have long criminal histories and have been routinely allowed to get out of jail. Now, I understand the talking points from the left of saying that, oh, you know, this tough on crime thing didn't really work, or maybe we need criminal reform, obviously. Maybe we need drug law reform, obviously. There's root causes to these issues. I'm not saying that some people don't get caught in the crossfire of these kinds of laws. However, there are certain people who these laws were absolutely meant for to keep them in jail that have now been allowed to just walk freely and commit multiple things like this. We see this time and time again with California policies letting criminals out of jail who then commit the same exact crimes or worse crimes than they were initially arrested for. The follow home robberies are becoming increasingly more common, especially in places like LA and San Francisco, but people keep letting them out of jail on $0 bail on certain occasions, and they get arrested again for doing the same exact crimes. Now, we know that this gunfight was a gang fight, a gang battle. I don't know what the hell you call this sort of thing, but it involved at least 5 individuals. Based on the videos that they've seen, they know at least 5 shooters were involved from 2 different groups. They're not saying what groups, they're not saying the names of some of the people they might believe, but they do have at least 2 people that are suspects that are behind bars. One of them is in jail currently, one of them is in the hospital and will be put in jail pending this whole investigation. Now, it's pretty interesting how in this kind of situation, we're already seeing a lack of momentum from the anti-gunners. Why is it that when it's not a straight white male who is mentally troubled, I don't know the right word to describe it, that commits this kind of event, they just don't care? It's almost like there's an agenda for them to push. This is just an absolute failure of California policies letting violent people out of jail over and over and over again, while somehow managing to still focus only on the guns as if the guns are the problem. These people used stolen firearms. They were stolen. These firearms that they recovered were stolen. Okay? There is no gun law on the books that you can add that would make this not happen. They committed a crime to possess these firearms. Then they illegally converted them to full auto. In Sacramento, something to note, you can get a concealed carry permit. But in the state of California, you cannot carry at bars or places where the primary purpose is to sell alcohol. It gets kind of weird with restaurants, bar combos, where maybe one half of it is a restaurant, the other half is a bar, and you can't even cross over certain imaginary lines. It gets a little weird with that. But there are not going to be many people who would choose to go to a bar this late with a firearm if it's illegal to do so, even if they're sober. These sorts of laws where you restrict who can legally carry a gun does not affect criminals. All the people that they've arrested so far have been known criminals who were felons, people who could not legally possess a firearm, yet somehow found themselves in the possession of stolen machine guns, stolen guns that they converted into machine guns. Meanwhile, if someone like you or me wanted to have a gun on them to protect themselves, you would be shit out of luck because you would be forced to break the law to do so in many of these circumstances. People are currently freaking out about the fact that many states have adopted constitutional carry. The thing is, currently 25 states have constitutional carry. For those of you that don't know, there's 50 states. Georgia could possibly be the 26th. I uploaded a short today talking about how Georgia Democrats are apparently now pro-police when it serves their agenda so that they can go against the rights of the individuals to carry a gun. They are calling constitutional carry criminal carry when criminals are already carrying guns, where people like you or me are forced to either get caught with it or get caught without it. You have to make those choices for yourself. But we see the current state of California, and it's just insanity to see that they are still trying to blame firearms and say gun laws are the solution, we have to do something, and wanting to push it nationwide when it seems like California has this big issue and many other states don't. Why is it that only certain specific cities account for such a huge amount of the crime in this nation? And yet we're focused on the people who don't commit crimes, the cities where crime is very uncommon, and we're saying that they're at fault. Saying Arizona is at fault for California gun crime. Does that make sense to you? Now, if we look at a post by LAPD, I think this just perfectly sums up the current state of the situation when it comes to what they want you to do. They want you to be submissive. They want you to be dependent on the government. They don't want you to take anything into your own hands. They don't want your own personal protection to be your responsibility. They want the mommy and daddy state to take care of you and tell you what to do and tell you what to think. On a post by the LAPD on their Instagram, they discussed some techniques to protect yourself from carjacking, a violent attack on yourself, saying that, hey, we know that violent carjackings are on the rise. Here are some things that you can do. Much of this advice is good. They're talking about situational awareness, steps you can take to avoid certain dangerous areas, how you can make yourself less likely to be victimized. And then, at the very end, they say, If a carjacker threatens you with a gun or another weapon, give up your car, don't argue. Your life is worth far more than a car. And you know what? Yes, if you could assure me that if someone said, hey, I want your phone, I'm gonna shoot you if you don't give me your phone and wallet, and I knew for a fact I could just hand them that shit and walk away, I would be pretty inclined to just do that and call it a wash. The thing is, there are enough documented instances of people saying exactly that, the person complying, the victim complying, and then the bad guy shooting them anyway. You cannot ensure that these people will not kill you because they have shown that they are willing to kill you for your stuff. So you have to decide. You know, a lot of people will counter and say, oh, your stuff, your DVD player, or oh, your wallet isn't worth somebody's life. No, it isn't. But they made that decision, not you. You are the victim. The person who chose to attack you and threaten you, that's their choice that they made. You get to choose how you prepare for it, what you do to prepare for it. The government is trying to tell you to just roll over and die, essentially. Hope and pray that they don't mean any ill will after they've already pointed a gun at you for your stuff. Let me know what you think down below. You guys know the drill. Have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace.